And the City of Prescott CDBG Citizens Advisory Committee, August 20th, 2025, 1:30. And we're going to call to order, and I'd like to start down at this end. If you give your name.
Betsy Howe.
Jim Howell, present.
Janie Evans, present.
Debbie Savoini.
John Paris, present.
Ginger Cutting, present.
And Mary Ann Suttles, chair. So everybody present, front and center. So do we start with approval of our minutes? Or Mike, do you want to come in anytime?
Yes, just a second. IT, my pointer isn't working, so you'll have to manipulate the slides for me. If you could go to the, and just stay on this slide for a second, the second slide. All right, for the meetings, Madam Chair, we do have two sets of minute meetings that need to be approved. The first was for our regularly scheduled meeting on May 21st. And then the second one, the June 5th, was a special CAC meeting that we had where we had to finish up on the 5-year consolidated plan. So those two minutes for approval.
Do you want to take them each individual or one vote for all?
Individually would be
I
good,
think so too. All right, let's approve the minutes from the May 21st, 2025. Everybody got those minutes, read them. I need a motion to approve.
Jim Howell, I move that we approve.
I need a second.
John Paris, I second.
All those in favor, raise your hand. And that's a unanimous vote, so the 21st minutes are taken care of. Moving to June the 5th, 2025, the CDBG advisory meeting. Those minutes been read. Questions? And I need a motion to accept.
I second it.
So Ginger was the motion to accept. I didn't hear who was the motion to accept.
I thought you made the motion. I second it.
All right.
Well, then I made the motion.
All right. Now I need a second.
Ginger Cutting,
And
second.
Ginger is the second on that. All those in favor, raise your hand. And those minutes have been approved. Okay. Let's go to letter B.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Michael McGinnis with your Community Development Department. I am your CDBG coordinator here in the city. Today's agenda will be going, go back to the, just stay here just for a second. We'll be looking at our Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report. It's called the CAPER. That's what HUD refers to it. Basically what it is, it's our end of year reporting that's mandatory, required by HUD. We have to create, show the progress the program's been making. It will be going officially to the City Council on September 9th as part of a public hearing process. It's usually pretty quick, and once they do that, they close the public hearing. I submitted the sub, and that concludes our program year 2024. Okay, we'll also, after that, talk about Prescott Cares. Prescott Cares update. We have the chamber here, Ms. Sherry Heine, and also the U.S. Vets is here to talk about Prescott Cares and their homeless outreach program, which concluded this year. Really big project, big amount of funding that we did with CDBG COVID money. So, all right, next slide, please. Oh, he did? Okay. Works. I'm good. All right. Consolidated Annual Action or Annual Performance Evaluation Report, the CAPER. Bullet points for what this is. I did send this out with the agenda packet. Similar to the Consolidated Plan and the Annual Action Plan, HUD wants a lot of data and a lot of, in this case, accomplishments of your CDBG program. How is your program doing? It is required, of course, by HUD on an annual basis. Documents progress towards meeting goals outlined in the consolidated plan and in the annual action plan. Again, everything we do in regards to reporting to HUD are interlinked. We have the consolidated plan, this 5-year plan, and then each year of that 5-year plan, we'll be doing our annual action plan. That all links to the consolidated plan, and then at the end of each year, this is our wrap-up plan, the consolidated plan. Again, they're all interlinked together. Okay. This is the document or the report HUD uses to see how the city is doing regarding CDBG funding, if they're sticking to their consolidated plan, if they're hitting their goals, if they're using the money that's been allocated to the jurisdiction. It works as a public hearing in the sense that, this plan, this report will be made available to the public, just like the consolidated plan was and the annual action plan. Will be available online through the community development department, as well as at the library. Any public input that we receive will go into the plan. So it's another opportunity for citizens to provide some feedback. And the due date for this report is September 28th, 2024. So we have plenty of time. We get it on that council agenda for September 9th, which it already is. Once they hopefully are good with it or the public hearing concludes, we move it on forward. Questions?
Michael, 2024 or 2025?
This is program, yes, thank you, 2025. Yes. Yeah. Program year 2024, 2025. Thank you for that. So, no, we missed it by a year. All right. Okay. So, only one more slide regarding the CAPER, then open it up to any discussion or questions about this process. How did last year look? Well, public services are always pretty easy to complete within the program year. So, the 3 public services which were funded in the program year 2024 included People Who Care. They served 317 residents. Their initial goal was 300, so they exceeded their target, and also some other statistics with that. New Horizons was the other public service organization we supported, as well as Prescott Meals on Wheels. So those are the big numbers for our public service activities. Update on public facility and infrastructure. This year, we didn't see the completion of any public facility or infrastructure projects, okay? It looks like everything's going to be completed in this next year, and I'll go over that in just a minute. But the big ones that were funded in 2024 were the Adult Center Storage Facility, okay, and the Coalition of Compassion and Justice, CCJ, a replacement of an affordable housing unit. Another big one that's been on our list for a while is the U.S. Vets Officer Quarters. Funding started back in 2022 for that project, I think. And we're finally at the finish line. They've already started building the new facility over there, and the officer quarters. We have U.S. vets here. They might be able to speak to more where they're at, but we're there. So that money is going to be spent this year fairly soon. Okay. And I provided this spreadsheet kind of to show where we're at with the big ticket items. And again, this is the year, and when I come back to the committee next year at this time, a lot of these projects are going to be completed. So that is the goal for the next year. So U.S. Vets being number one, that is the officer quarters. That's 2 years of funding. NASCARE's New Hope Wellness Center is almost done. They probably have another month of work, so they've been expending their funds. Minor home repair program, that's actually a bit less than what you see there. It's been really busy with minor home repair, so that's been moving in the downward trend. And then the other projects that are up there. U.S. Vets, homeless outreach, within the year, they spent their full allotted amount. Any questions about what you see up here? Okay. I did want to make this slide. The next couple of slides talks about project delays. Like some of these things, why is it taking so long? And I get it. I didn't really understand it when I first took on this position a couple of years ago. But this is what I found out, and what I'm hoping to improve upon, the longer I'm in this position is, one is CDBG money oftentimes doesn't satisfy the complete amount of a project. And many organizations use CDBG as that initial seeding amount. They take that amount of money and they're able to go out to their donors and say, I got this amount. We're already getting the ball rolling. Can you fund us some more? Looking for those matching funds, okay? Procurement policy, we do have a procurement policy with the city. Sometimes that causes delays. If it's an expensive project, they have to go out and bid it to at least three contractors. I don't think it was always an issue, but in this environment that we live in now, where it's just really hard to get contractors that aren't super busy, that has been a bit of a delay. And much of the delay with contractors, as I understand it, is in materials and labor. But the biggest reason for the delay, I think, has been my experience, is this last one. This is required by HUD, and it's the environmental review process, okay? The reason, or a big reason, why the U.S. Vets Officer Quarters was delayed so long, it really came down to the environmental review process, okay? And especially with a project like U.S. Vets, where you had 4, 5 different entities or interested parties, the county, the VA, the federal government, the city, tribes. I mean, it was a big ordeal, so it's really actually a miracle that we got it done. I mean, I didn't have much hope, but it was unbelievable. So anyway, with environmental reviews, that is something that I think is getting better with a lot of these projects, trying to make it more efficient and get to, again, the finish line as quickly as possible. So those are some of the causes why these projects kind of stay out there. Okay, that's it for my caper thing, and then I'm done pretty much talking for today. Is there any questions about what you read? Anything in the caper that you'd like to discuss further? Any concerns? Anything you might like to see in the future in regards to end of the year reporting? I'll leave it open to the committee. Okay. All right.
So moving on.
Yes, moving on. All right. So today we have 2 guests here to speak about our Prescott Cares program. Prescott Cares, a little bit of background. This is the COVID money, okay? CDBG, I believe how it worked, it was $427,000 that kind of showed up at our doorstep during the pandemic. Because we were already getting CDBG money, the federal government just kind of put this out there for us to use. So we've had this money, except at the beginning, they put a lot of stipulations on how to use the money. When the pandemic ended or was coming towards the conclusion, HUD decided or saw that there was still a lot of money out there. What they did was get rid of some of the restrictions. All right. But by doing so, we had to go through a process of reallocating the money, opening it up. It was a thing. But where we're at right now, Prescott Cares is active. We're spending money out of it. We're getting to the conclusion finally, and we have till June 30th to spend the rest of the money. It is administered by the Chamber of Commerce Foundation. So all the activities, all the projects of this program go through Prescott Cares. And at this time, I have Sherry Heine, if you'd like to come up, who administers the program. Let us know a little bit about what's going on with Prescott Cares at this point.
Thank you, Michael. Madam Chair and committee members, first of all, I want to say what a delight it is to work with Michael. I've been with him through that whole process. We were the winning agent in the very beginning. We were able to, I think, when we were in the thick of COVID, I think we spent almost $250,000, give or take. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, and we still had an additional amount of monies to spend as well. And then we went through that, the change, the restrictions, and we were able to check another box, which had to go through a process which you are all aware of, most of you are aware of, because you were part of that initiative. And some of that included U.S. vets, who will probably speak after me to speak on their portion of it. So that $117,000 that you saw went through the foundation first to pay them. So where we're at today with Prescott Cares, first of all, we have been doing a tremendous amount of outreach. We've had community events. We recently had a community pulse event where we had, we spoke in front of the business community and also the public. And then we also did some specific marketing to the Bradshaw Apartments. We did a series with them. And we're probably about 12, I think in the last 3 days from those initiatives. I've received in the last 3 days at least 6 applications. We are currently we approved and are paying 2 residents of Prescott their rent for the next 6 months. Plus we also help them with their utilities. So this program continues to prove to be a strong program. Part of the changes of HUD was this rental assistance piece, which wasn't in there before. So we can pay up to 6 months for rental assistance for those that qualify. And the thing that we were receiving before was we were receiving folks wanting this service from all over Yavapai. And as you all know, it only can serve residents. So we're getting through that process. So I have several applications. I think we can go up to, with the money that we have left, we have about 12 more spots that we can fill. And I have 6 applications sitting on my desk as we speak. So we're excited about this, that we'll finally be to the conclusion of that. And even though it's not on the agenda, I will say we also administer the minor home repair program, and I have at least 6 projects going on right now with that, and about 3 applications. And that is also a very, sometimes it seems like it can be an easy process, but again, we have to go through, just to remind you, we go through the scope of work with the city, then we get a contractor out there, we get a competitive bid, and then we try to get on their schedule for when they can do the work, and then we have to go back out and make sure the work is there and done perfectly. So it does take a lot for these projects. We wish we could just turn the key, but there's a lot of parties involved. But both programs are going very well. We have a lot of applicants, and we're serving the community to our best.
Couple of questions.
Yes, Madam Chair.
What's the amount that's in the account right now?
For Prescott Cares,
Prescott Cares.
I'd have to I can give you a rough estimate. I think it's around 100,000.
Yes.
Okay. Because you made the statement that you hope to fill 12 spots, so that'll take care of that 100.
Yeah, because it's 6 months. So for every qualifying, and it varies because not all the rent is the same amount.
Sure.
So
Okay. So when that is finished with that amount, the program's over.
That's correct.
Unless something happens, that
Right.
miracle piece
Yeah.
that you were talking about.
Pandemic part 2.
Yeah.
All right. Picking up the home repair part, that is separate.
It is separate, and we've had multiple accounts. So we've had a couple different contracts from that. So we were finishing up one and going into the other one as well.
What do you see the lifespan of the home repair program?
Well, we hope that goes on. I mean, that's really the city's goal, is to
Right.
keep that project ongoing.
The current amount, I think, like with the current funding in there, that we're hoping at least be able to serve for the next year. Yeah.
Yep.
Like that.
Yeah. We did not reapply because we still had the monies to work with.
Okay. Okay, any other questions? Betsy?
I'm probably the newest person on the committee, so I apologize
Wonderful.
if this information has been covered already.
No worries.
But I was here at the City Hall meeting where some of the people from the Bradshaw really appealed for their situations. And I'm just wondering, when you assist somebody for 6 months, is there any point in that transition that they have counseling or financial assistance to prepare for after the 6 months?
We encourage that. It's not required with the package, but after that meeting, and actually we were paying rent for 2 of those ladies that were up here, so we're very proud of that. But after that meeting, when talking with some of the folks, we recognized that those folks need stronger help and support moving forward. So that's why we held the meeting out there, and we brought in NACOG, the aging director, and we connected them with all those folks so that they would get all those services. So that was something that I saw as a miss. Yeah. And, you hear those stories, but there's always more to the story. So, it's always interesting when you're working with those, with all of that.
Okay, we're good.
Thank you. It's an honor to serve, and we appreciate the partnership.
Thank you, Sherry. Okay, another part of the Prescott Cares was with the U.S. vets. We did fund U.S. vets $117,000 out of our COVID money, and U.S. vets, Brian Campbell, their executive director, is here to speak to that resource.
So I had a sheet of paper that I was going to utilize, but I just rather speak from the heart. I'm a retired Marine Corps veteran, and I've been with U.S. vets now for 4 years. 2 of which have been as the executive director. Typically, you wait till the end and say thank you, but I want to lead off with that. It's a very big deal for the Chamber of Commerce to be able to act as a pass-through entity and provide us funding has been phenomenal. Our community, the committee, it's amazing on what has happened this year. Our operating budget, let me backtrack. We roughly have 40 employees that contribute every day into the city of Prescott. Our operating budget is $6.4 million. May seem like a very large number, but in all actuality, this year and on June 30th, when we closed out, we were in the black with $19,242. So that's a very, very small amount of a wiggle room. So as we leaned in and had built this relationship, that $117,000, all 100% of it went to the veterans. It didn't go to staffing. It went to direct services. We served over 71,000 meals this past year to the veterans in our program. We also served over 530 veterans just alone. 100 veterans were placed into permanent housing. 72 veterans were placed into employment. And we have a full wraparound services such as a director of behavioral health. We have case management, a full kitchen, staff, 24/7 veteran services department. I'm here with Monica Vos, my operating manager, phenomenal. Throw that out there, just wonderful on the way that she strategically thinks. It's really important that I say all that because, when you guys were asking about the case management, Miss Betsy, we do that. You know, we do that on the backside, and we have used funding that has allowed us, we call it our aftercare program. So when somebody leaves us and they're now an alumni of US Vets, we offer them an opportunity to have aftercare case management. And then that gets them, so we still have the warm handoff. We're still wrapping them with a blanket of love and walking through that next step with them so they're not alone. It has been absolutely phenomenal what we've gone through. Those stats that you saw up there, or the money, the $123,000 that's sitting there, was not due to Gorman and Company, our developers, or us. You know, there was a lot of hurdles to go through to get the water rights for the project. The EUL, it's called an enhanced use lease. Congress approved it, 99-year lease on the VA campus. Very phenomenal. Currently, it's going to be 103 permanent housing units for senior veterans. 23 of those units are spread out between 6 of those beautiful white officer quarters that are up there. So we get buildings 5 through 10. Then you have an opportunity, that's 23 of them that are going to open up in January of this year. Then there's a 4-story build they're already on the 4th story, and they're moving up, you know, to put the roof on right now. That's going to be 80 units. Those 80 units are opening up in June. That pit count, the point in time count that we do, is very important to identify homelessness, veterans, you know, or anybody else. But the problem is it's mandated to be executed in January. So up here, it's a little colder. So people may leave up here and go down to Maricopa County or whatnot. And then they migrate back up here when the weather gets a little bit better. My concern is always the veterans. We were at a point where we were in, years ago, 30% of our homeless population was veterans. We're down to just above 10%, roughly around, fluctuating depending on the report you see, from about 10 to 12%. We're decreasing our numbers, but we can't do it without saying thank you to what you guys do and our community that believes in us. You know, these are just, you know, they're funny numbers, you know, but to me, I get to see the different side of it. The veterans that I get to give a hug to every day, Sarge, you know, particularly, you know, 88 years old, that didn't have a place to, you know, to be. That money that I described of us being in the black, we wouldn't have been able to do what we do if we didn't have, you know, Prescott Cares. We would have been in the hole trying to figure out how are we going to feed these veterans. We've even reduced our meal costs down to $6 a meal. We decreased our staffing in the kitchen just to make sure we are providing those nutritious quality meals for the veterans. And that's, you know, that's where we're at as US vets, you know, here in our footprint. Yeah, on top of that, we've had over 128 educational classes that we've given. Those funds particularly, you know, went to 24-hour housing as well, you know, for some issues. When they pop up and somebody calls us and we got to figure out where to place them, we typically place them in a hotel for X amount of time so we can try to identify the barriers, connect them with the VA or other resources, and then hopefully get them into transitional housing if they're willing to, and then get into permanent housing. Something else that I think is really important too is the amount of domestic violence cases, you know, that we see. You know, so that takes another strategic approach to really, you know, love on somebody and give them the attention that they need. And it may not be transitional housing. You know, it may be, you know, in a hotel for a little bit longer until you can use some of these other services to get them where the safe place is for them and out of danger. That's kind of, I'd like to open it up and just any questions that anybody has, but I truly thank all of you and you know, Ms. Sherry and Mike. You know, I can't just, once again, the amount of time that he put in on those environmental reviews to get them done was ridiculous. You know, money well spent, you know, but it was ridiculous. It just every entity had to be a part of that process, and if he didn't lean in, as I you know, fellow Marine, but if he didn't lean in, we wouldn't have got it done. But though that $123,000 that's allotted for the Fort Whipple project is also going to be 100%, you know, not towards staffing. It's going to be direct cost towards appliances. And we look forward to purchasing those very soon. The developer is about ready. They just don't have a place to store the stuff right now, but they're ready to make those purchases. Yeah. So thank you.
Thank you. Very nice.
Thank you, ma'am. God bless you guys.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, that is about it. We are now into staff announcements. Our next meeting is going to be October 21st, so no September meeting. October 21st, I'm going to try to make it our needs workshop meeting. That's where, I think we did it in November last year. I'm shooting for October. That's where community, non-for-profits, organizations, the city comes and talks to the committee about their needs and what's going on. Kind of the beginning of our grant season. The grant opens on December 1st is when applications start coming in, and they remain open for about 60 days, and we start it all over again. Yes. So this is March timeframe is renewal for a committee membership. So this is, I believe, a 2-year membership or a committee. So if you're interested in doing this again, I hope everybody is. That would be the time to resubmit your application. You'll be aware of that process. What else do I have? I do have some flyers. I went to the Collective Impact Partnership, the CIP, our Continuum of Care, yesterday. A lot of different things going on in the community. I'm going to hand out some flyers. On top of that, I think there's a stand. Is there a stand down happening? And what is the stand down, and how can the public kind of help?
So our stand down for Yavapai County, we've been running for many, many years. We're going to have over 44 vendors that'll be there for a range of resources from legal to clothing, medical. We're going to have employers doing job fairs on the site. Right across the street where the church is, they hold a veterans court. And it allows the veterans an opportunity to present their case. And a lot of times, they get probation decreased, and it gets sometimes that, or if it's a fine, it'll get converted into a community service hour, and then we're allowed to utilize, if that veteran wanted us to be that entity, we can utilize those services and sign them off on community services. It's going to be September 26th. It's at 1040 Whipple Street. And everybody's encouraged to just come by. I mean, I'm going to have so Gorman and I get personal about this. Gorman and Company, they're our developers, and the superintendent has a young little girl that sings the national anthem. So I asked if she would sing it for us. So she's going to lead off and sing it. We're going to have Embry Riddle, and they're going to march on the colors and all of that good stuff. But it's a huge event that we've been doing annually.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
So some other events, Yavapai College is doing a basic needs resource fair. I'll hand out these flyers to everyone. Anybody would like to attend. That's September 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. On the Prescott Yavapai College campus. Free food boxes, face painting, vaccines, raffle, snacks, and therapy dogs. Yavapai County is doing a surge event at the American Legion Post 25. This is actually in Cottonwood on August 26th and 27th. Community-centered street outreach event connecting veterans experiencing homelessness with housing and supportive services. And then we have a community mobile food distribution. This is October 17th here at Yavapai College as well. And it's a drive-through only, open to the public. Last thing I'll say is I'm going to council again last time for the year on September 9th. Any support from the committee is always welcome. It is a pretty short meeting or short agenda item where I give the updates, kind of what I just did with you guys. Not as detailed, but just tell the council what good work CDBG is doing, the committee is doing. So any participation, very much appreciated. So with that, any questions from anyone? Any concerns? Fairly quick. I think. Was I at 45 minutes? 36? Yeah? 36 minutes.
So at 2:06, then we'll move for adjournment.
Okay.
You need a person? Good.
I'll second that.
All right, thank you. All right, we're good. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.